Are you ready for another lightning strikes twice? And this is where we have one topic apiece, 5 minutes to discuss. The other person doesn't know what the person before is bringing up. So it's packed full of fun and action and excitement. So let the fun commence.
Okay, well, I guess I'm first. So mine is probably like a public health and safety kind of thing. Um, in that the internet is a lonely place now. Like, is the internet bringing us together, closer together, or is it bringing us further apart?
Aha. Well,
Particular social media in particular.
yeah. Social media is a double-edged sword, in my opinion, because it is great to be able to be in contact with people whom I otherwise probably would have forgotten even existed.
Yeah.
Um, and even with social media, like the reason I know that is because there are people who aren't on social media or I haven't found them and I've actually forgotten their name and their face. And if I come across it, I'm like, should I remember that person? But so in that way, it's good.
Mhm.
The bad side to me is that it's really amplified the signal on propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, and that's because people place a lot of stock in the opinions of people they know. They
Mhm.
just hear someone say, "You know what Biden just did," and they don't bother to look it up. They go, "Yeah,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. I'm going to go vote for Trump." Like
Well, and that Twitter in particular is really bad for stuff like that
mhm.
because it's like you.
Free speech kind of died on Twitter
Well, I
from what
mean,
I've seen.
it depends, but it's like it's sucked forever, and it'll probably continue sucking. I mean, Facebook sucks. Almost everything sucks. There's really one of the things. It's like you when friends used to get together at Sherry's and stuff, and everybody you'd hang out for hours on end, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, and talking about everything.
Yeah,
Like you could read somebody's body language. Typically, it was more thoughtful conversation. You could explain yourself essentially, whatever uh, thing that you're talking about. Um, and and of course people are less aggressive when they're in person face to face with somebody
right.
versus
And in
online.
the normal flow of conversation, you don't always get to have diarrhea of the mouth. Like somebody
Mhm.
might interject, and like
Yeah,
so when
yeah.
you're able to get every thought out, like that's not always a good thing.
That's true. Well, and I mean, and that like what you're bringing up is a valid criticism of social media, but my thought is like it looks like what I'm getting at is, yeah, you have all these friends on Instagram or Facebook or X or whatever, or followers and stuff, but it's like it's all fake.
Mhm.
Even people probably don't even see things that you post. You don't see things they post, and nobody really gives a shit. And so it's like,
Right,
what is that? That's not friends. That's people
right.
you used to know.
Like
That
probably one of the dumbest things Facebook ever did was introduce the Facebook memories,
Oh
which
yeah.
I check basically every day, and it
Mhm.
because it's so interesting to me to just scroll down and see how much more conversations were flourishing from just like a random post,
Mhm.
and but all kinds of people that like are still on my friends list, but I haven't like seen or heard a peep from them in like a decade.
Yeah.
We're saying a whole bunch of like deep, thoughtful, meaningful stuff, and
Or just
now,
sharing something interesting that would be an interesting thing you would share in
yeah.
person, like, hey, check this song out, or whatever, or something
Hmm.
like that, or a photograph of whatever, and maybe like two or three people out of your several hundred friends even respond. And if they do, it's like they'll just click the like or the little heart or whatever, and that's it. Nobody even says anything. If they do, it's a short blurb. There's no conversation at all.
Yeah.
Um, and
Well,
so
everything
it's
now
like,
seems geared towards doom anyway.
yeah,
It's all like,
the Facebook algorithm, this is a known thing that it intentionally Facebook might be not be the only one, but it intentionally shares things into your feed that would stir up some kind of whatever emotional something,
Yeah.
like anger or whatever. It's like, yeah, Facebook's a shitty ass place. I mean, X is no better, honestly. It's a cesspool. They're both cesspools. Facebook just
Right.
has a prettier look to it, I guess. But like, and that's the thing. I'm thinking about this. It's like everything, all the forums and places and stuff, and places I made friends with and stuff, they're all gone now. And there's not really anything left. And so it's like, I feel like human contact. I don't know. It's just like everything's changed. Oh shit. Well,
Yeah.
that needs to be actually an episode, honestly,
Yeah.
because I'm just thinking about how lively things were back in the MySpace days, and you really felt connected. And now you couldn't. I don't feel. I mean, I feel more disconnected than ever,
Yeah.
going on to social media.
Yeah. I'm taking a look at the blue sky, but it's basically just Twitter.
Yeah, and
So
it's just like dating sites.
yeah.
Whatever's neat in the moment will eventually become corrupted, and that'll
Yep.
suck. And you just have to move on to something else. Uh,
Yeah.
it's shit. We just need to go back to like meeting people in person, like
Yeah.
hanging out at coffee or something, or one big ass Zoom meeting with your friends and just chill. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So, as usual, we rolled over a little longer, but now it's your turn.
All right. Well, this is, I guess, a current event.
Okay.
Um, what are your thoughts on shooting CEOs?
Oh, oh, that recent, like, wasn't it like a
United
United Health?
Healthcare. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what was the motivation there, but I mean,
Well, well, it's health insurance. So, I mean, the motivation is pretty blatant. Um, and that's, like health insurance is constantly, especially after COVID, being really stingy and denying this and that. And the shooter inscribed on the bullet casings that were left behind,
mm.
uh, denied and delayed and some other
Oh,
D
that's right.
word.
Yeah, there was some
Yeah.
some kind of
and
thing.
and left like a backpack with Monopoly money just to like throw them off and stuff, and
I
like
mean,
totally got away on a bicycle. It was all like Robin Hood, Batman sort of.
I get the symbology, but it is a little extreme vigilante
Well,
ism that honestly, the thing is that's not going to have an effect on anything.
oh,
Um,
but it did
well,
already.
I
Like
mean,
there was
it's not going to improve services or make prices come down or anything like that.
there was another company, I forget which one. Right before that happened, they had announced, if you're under general anesthesia for too long, we're just not going to cover it anymore. And after that happened, they totally backpedaled and reversed that because people were already like fuming mad about that. Rightly so.
Sure,
Like,
sure, sure.
and here's the thing, like normally I would agree with you and I would be like, nah, there's no actual like excuse for this, but there does come a point where you're transgressed upon enough to the point where you need to fight back. And
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, every peaceful solution has been tried when it comes to like people profiteering off of human health. And it's time to stop with all that
And
shit. Like it's enough.
maybe all it takes is one really well publicized event to get
Yeah.
people talking about things and maybe affect some
I
change.
hope
So
that
in
was
that,
it. Like I hope nobody else has to die. I hope that they just finally bring everybody to the table and have a conversation like, look, this is what we all want. Fuck what the politicians are doing. Like, let's work out an agreement. Like the entire citizenship of the United States needs to unionize and force these health insurance companies to be humane. Like,
Well, we can vote with our wallet, but of course, there's really nowhere to go in a lot of
mm-mm.
cases. They're all kind of the
Yeah.
same. I mean,
If
it's
you get it through a job, you don't get to choose which provider. That's all you're told who you get by your employer.
well,
So it's
and
either like start over somewhere else at a new job
mhm,
altogether, based
yeah.
solely on who's providing their
Well,
insurance. I mean, none of that makes sense.
it isn't unique to the US. I think a lot of services like that just generally suck. The NHS in England, I guess there was a lady who was delayed and delayed for like tooth problems. And I mean, just it was pretty bad, I guess, like some kind of abscess that was getting worse and worse. And of course, they're not known for their expediency over there. And so
Mm.
she was so pissed off, she like took pliers and pulled her own tooth out on the steps of Parliament
Oh
as
well,
like a sign of protest. Which
yeah.
it's like, hey, that gets people's attention, and people are like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, why would somebody do that? Isn't
Hmm.
everything peachy keen? Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah,
No.
these are signs of the times, man. Like all these killdozer events
Mm-hmm.
propping up. Like really things have to be done. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's going in a crazy direction. Like, mm, yeah,
And I think just walking the streets with signs and having your stupid chants, slogans that people go
yeah.
in
Nobody listens to
megaphones.
that.
Like sometimes you need something dramatic, that really galvanizes the public
Yeah,
and gets people's attention. Because I mean, yeah, people marching down the street saying shit, you could just dismiss that. But well, yeah, a killdozer event, right? Like, well,
yeah,
that's you can't forget that.
yeah. I know, and I mean, I don't know if this is actually going to fix anything apart from that one like short-term event that got reversed. Because I mean, a few years ago there was that guy that set himself on fire to
Mhm.
bring awareness to the environmental crisis. And well, look where we are. Like nothing
Mhm.
really changed
I
as a
know.
result of
Maybe
that, which
we
is
need
sad. Like,
that something like that. I think needs to happen multiple times for it to be like, whoa, this is a trend, right? Like
ugh.
it's you started with CEOs, right? So it's like, well,
Hmm.
if people start forgetting, and then yet another CEO is taken out in the same fashion, and then
Yeah,
another and another. Well, now people are gonna. You can't ignore that.
yeah. So all in all, I actually applaud that guy. Like I think that's a Dexter sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that it's tough, from my perspective. But I understand. I totally comprehend where they're coming from,
Yeah,
in doing something like that, and it doesn't seem insane. There's like kind of a rationale there,
yeah.
but
That definitely falls into the category of initiation of force. Like
mhm.
no, you cannot be healthy and live. Oh, okay. Well, neither can you.
Well,
Like,
and certainly somebody, maybe they had some kind of experience that killed somebody. Somebody died because of ineptitude
most
within the system.
assuredly, yeah. Like,
Yeah, and so it's like, okay,
for
well,
someone to do that, like you would probably have to have something very close and personal, of course.
it's like the father who hunts down his daughter's
Hmm.
rapist or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you really shouldn't do that, but I totally get why you did.
yeah,
And I sympathize, right? Like I
yeah,
completely understand that because I think a lot of people would do that.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, man, that's
That
a
could be
good,
a whole episode too.
that really should be a whole episode, honestly. And
Hmm.
well, yeah, I mean, it almost turned into a whole episode. We could just carry on and then cut it. Oh yeah. All right.
Already
Well,
had too much beer.
well, it's that was man, those are both really good. Shit. Well, we do this every week and we do other stuff every week without fail. We've done it for coming up on 6 years, I guess now. Um, and
Crazy, huh?
so, yeah, we've got a whole ton of episodes. So if this is your first time, please subscribe. Actually, leave a comment. That's actually much more valuable than a subscription. Um, and share And yeah, go check out our back catalog, of which there's, I don't know how many. We got so many videos.
A lot.
A
There's
lot.
a
Yeah.
lot.
It's kind of
Coming
insane.
up on 300-minute microscopies.
Jesus. Wow. We almost have as many episodes as we have songs between the two of us. That's crazy.
Yeah, we have over 300 episodes. And then we've
Yeah.
got, we're almost up to 70 lightning strikes twice already.
Jesus, man.
Feels like we just started these.
I know it does. It's nuts. Well, there's going to be another one next week. So stick around for that and hopefully you enjoyed. And take care out there, everybody. And, maybe don't kill the CEOs.
Or maybe we do.